So Cody Rhodes challenged The Rock at the Elimination Chamber at Grayson Waller's effect, and he challenged The Rock to wrestle him anytime between now and WrestleMania. So we're gonna be talking about that and see. Uh, I'll give you my feedback on that, and we're gonna be talking about that. Also, we're gonna talk about Ric Flair. Is he planning to betray Sting on his last match at AEW Revolution after what we saw in AEW Dynamite? We're going to be talking about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Get ready to get rocked.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One. The Forbidden Podcast is in the house one more time, and we're going to be talking about Cody versus The Rock. That's what we heard at the Elimination Chamber this yesterday morning, because this was at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know who stood up to watch this, but it was not worth it to watch this 5 o'clock. Now, I'm saying the Elimination Chamber was bad. I just feel that it was an all right show, but this Elimination Chamber was more for Rhea Ripley's, her homecoming, and that's what they basically based on. And they talk about Australia. But let's talk about the Grayson Waller effect when we saw Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes in there. First of all, Seth Rollins mentioned that he is 1 week away from being cleared. So that means that he is going to be ready for WrestleMania. And of course, we know who he's going to be facing. But let's talk about what Cody said. Now, there was reports. Again, like I said, wasn't going to wake up at 5 in the morning to watch this. But there was a report going around that Cody explained why he gave up his match to his match with Roman Reigns to The Rock. But when I saw the pay-per-view, he didn't explain nothing at all. So, and we're still wondering of a lot of things, how WWE's been using Cody. And again, when we could go back with this Brock Lesnar situation last year, when Brock turned on him, no explanation about that. We never got one. We never will. And then we had that situation where Cody gave up his title shot, and then a couple of days later, he wanted it back. He got slapped for it, but he wanted it back. No explanation why he gave up the title shot to The Rock. Now, and that left everybody confused. People were complaining, and of course they used The Rock to call the fans that were complaining about this whole scenario with The Rock just inserting himself into the main event of WrestleMania as Cody Crybabies. And we saw that. And but then again, this past Monday, we saw Cody versus Drew McIntyre. And again, I understand Drew McIntyre is he's the hot heel right now and whatnot, but you cannot have Cody get pinned when the guy just won the Royal Rumble and he's getting pinned. Okay, granted that the Solo Sikoa interfered and cost him the match, that's not a good way to secure your next babyface in the company. And we know he's going to win the world title and whatnot. That's not the good way to secure him, because now he lost again. It's been over a year he hasn't lost, but he lost. Didn't he lost to Brock Lesnar, I believe? I'm not even sure, but I claim it's the first loss in a year that he haven't lost. It doesn't matter how long it's been. He's the guy who has won the Royal Rumble this year. He's supposed to be the hot baby face, and you're over here making him lose to your hot heel. That shit makes no sense to me. It doesn't make sense. So, you got podcasters like, oh, stop crying, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm again the same podcasters who, talk about how toxic the IWC is, but yeah, they talking crap about Tony Khan, but I digress. So when I saw that Cody said, oh, he challenges The Rock anytime, anywhere from here to WrestleMania, the first thing that came into my mind, there is no other big show or show between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. So how are they going to do this? So the only thing I could come up with was I could see The Rock ignoring Cody, and then Cody's telling him, well, I'll wrestle you night one. I could see Cody having 2 matches, WrestleMania night 1 and WrestleMania night 2. I could see The Rock trying to challenge Cody on WrestleMania 1 so that he could soften him up for Roman Reigns on night 2. You know what I'm saying? Now, my question is, what part is Seth Rollins playing here? Because the way I'm looking at it, the way Seth Rollins put his hands on Cody's shoulder, saying, wherever you have this match with The Rock, he's going to be there to help him fight off the bloodline, whatever. I don't trust Seth Rollins at all. You know what I'm saying? I can see Seth Rollins turning on Cody. Because remember, Seth Rollins has lost twice to Cody. You know what I'm saying? And now the man who has been busting his ass with that world title, he's about to lose that belt. You know what I'm saying? He's going to lose that belt to Drew McIntyre, because if we saw Drew McIntyre won the Elimination Chamber, I didn't like the way the Elimination Chamber ended with him winning it, because 2 questions I have. 1, Michael Cole questioning how AJ Styles got into the Elimination Chamber. Hello, you trying to make people look stupid and whatnot. He got in the Elimination Chamber because the door was open when they were trying to take out Bobby Lashley. See how they try to play with people's brain? It makes no sense. Okay. Then, and so with the ending of the match, we saw Randy Orton RKO Logan Paul. And it was already 5 minutes into the match that he did that. Why was Logan Paul still inside the Elimination Chamber, and why he wasn't taken up? Because he was the one who cost Randy Orton the match by hitting him with brass knucks. And there's no disqualification because it's an Elimination Chamber. But a question again, they tried to play us like we're some idiots. Okay? You're not going to play me as an idiot, because first thing I'm going to question is, why was Logan Paul still inside the Elimination Chamber when he had just gotten pinned 5 minutes ago? But then you was questioning how AJ Styles got in the ring and pretty much laid the waste LA Knight with a chair and whatnot. And that, I predicted it. The only difference was my prediction was a little kind of reverse, because I knew AJ Styles was going to cost LA Knight either his way going to the Elimination Chamber, or and once I saw him that he qualified for the Elimination Chamber, I said, somewhere the other AJ Styles is going to get involved. And he sure did. As soon as that cage door opened, when they're taking out Bobby Lashley, he went in there and blasted LA Knight and beat him. I'm talking about, he broke the chair on him. And then he style classed him on the chair. So we're going to get LA Knight versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I don't know why, but I see LA Knight probably getting even with him, but LA Knight's not going there. I thought LA Knight was going to get a shot at Logan Paul. That would have been a better matchup, because you got 2 big mouths in there and their promos will be pretty good. Then, but instead we're going to have Randy Orton probably challenging Logan Paul for the United States title after Logan Paul cost him his title shot for WrestleMania. So that was one thing that I wasn't too happy about when it came to that. But the Cody versus Rock, when is it going to happen? I say night 1. So I see it, night 1, Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. And the reason I say it's night 1, because people were like, oh, they could do a tag team. People want to see Seth Rollins and Cody versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns not wrestling 2 nights. I'm gonna keep saying that over. If you guys haven't watched him physically, Roman Reigns has lost a lot of body mass, and he looks like he's not at 100%. He lost a lot of weight. His face looks slimmer. I don't know if he's still got the leukemia thing going or whatever, but this is probably why he doesn't defend the titles the way he does. But nobody's saying nothing. So, but I don't see Roman Reigns wrestling 2 nights in a row. He's going to wrestle night 2. Definitely going to wrestle night 2. And he's going to lose that belt. If he doesn't lose that belt, I don't, man. The way I'm looking at this, Vince McMahon stench is still in the company, because those are his 2 main guys that he's been having there. Roman Reigns is one of them, and Seth is the other one. You know, so I don't know. I don't see it that way. Let's go to AEW. Could Ric Flair betray Sting in his final match? The way I'm looking at it, after we saw this week with Ric Flair coming in talking about he was disappointed because he has not been that involved in Sting's final match preparation, I guess. He ended up going into the Young Bucks locker room. Brandon Cutler said that in a tweet that Ric Flair came out of that meeting with a grin. That don't mean anything. That grin can mean that he's going to betray the Young Bucks. You know, that the Young Bucks gave him all the information, that what they plan to do. You know what I'm saying? And now Flair's going to go and share that information with Sting and whatnot. Because remember, the Young Bucks did the unthinkable. They attacked Sting's, well, I say his kids, but he attacked his kids, you could say, but they're not kids. They're grown-ass men, but they got attacked. When Sting and Darby won the AEW tag team titles from Big Bill and Ricky Starks. And Sting has not forgotten that. So he is set to get even with him. And you think that Sting and Ric Flair are not playing that? I mean, granted that Ric Flair has betrayed Sting so many times. The first time he betrayed him was back in 1990. In 1989, WCW created this thing on a Starrcade where it was the Iron Man match. And Sting ended up winning that. And the winner of that was supposed to be the number 1 contender for the world title. At that time, Ric Flair was the world champion. I believe Sting beat Flair to win that whole tournament. And by then, Sting and Flair were a team because they were feuding with Terry Funk and Great Muta and whatnot. So they became kind of friends. So Flair put him in the Horsemen, but it wasn't a month later at the Clash of the Champion in 1990 when Ole Anderson told Sting, you got to give up your title shot and whatnot. And he said, you should thank God that we haven't taken you out, because if it wasn't for Ric Flair, we would have been taking you out. So they already had warned him, but Sting didn't want to give up the title shot. He ended up getting jumped by the Horsemen, and that's when in the main event, it was I think it was Muta, Funk, and somebody else against the Horsemen. Sting went to go after Flair and climbed the cage, came down and tore his ACL. He was out for almost 7 months, and whatnot. So, you know, so that was the first time that we saw that. You know, Sting got kicked out of the Horsemen at that time. Then we saw it again in 1995 when, again, Arn Anderson and Ric Flair were feuding that summer of 95. And Arn Anderson ended up being Ric Flair at Fall Brawl because of Brian Pillman. Then the next following month, they had the Halloween Havoc. They made it seem like Flair got attacked in the back. So Sting had to go in the ring against Anderson and Pillman by himself. Flair returned with his clothes pretty much and took off, went in there, asked Sting to tag him in. And when Sting tagged him in, Flair did the whole strut, whatever, turn around and punched Sting right in the face, and they attacked Sting. And that, I mean, there was plenty of backstabbing and Flair has done to Sting. But the question right now, is Sting going to get betrayed in his last match? Or it could be Flair, the one who probably going to betray the Young Bucks. Sting and Darby retains the AEW World Tag Team titles, but remember, at the Revolution, Sting is done with wrestling, which will leave Darby Allin by himself with those tag team belts. What could happen the following week at AEW Dynamite, we could see that the Young Bucks be like, well, you know what? You're going to defend those belts against us on a handicap match when Darby tries to look for a partner and whatnot. And that's how probably they're going to take those belts. So believe me, I believe the Young Bucks are going to be involved mostly now coming March and April during the springtime on TV doing the, executive, whatever they are, company executive, whatever they are. So that's going to be interesting, but we'll see. We'll see what happens and whatnot. And other news, we have Kamille, who used to be the NWA World Champion, is right now made a video saying, "Oh, and the company I'm going to be working for is," and the video on YouTube ended. There was word that she was going to be at WWE, but as we see, she hasn't been in WWE, and that's why I laugh with a lot of these wannabe journalists claiming, "Oh, Camille's going to be showing up at the NXT performance at the next week." Lies, all lies, because she never she didn't even show up. So to me, the way I'm looking at it is that she stopped to figure, well, why am I going to go to WWE when they're going to put me in the NXT? It's like starting all over again. The one was the NWA World Champion for almost 900 something days. You know what I'm saying? And she showcased her stuff in the NWA. That woman, and I think she wrestled one time in AEW. I'm not sure, but she did. This is when NWA was trying to work with AEW. So you're going to tell me that she has to go back to the Performance Center and now wrestle the WWE way? Because that's what the Performance Center is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they have not. The only people I think they have since Vince McMahon took over NXT, the only one that I've seen that has done well in there is so far I see Braun Breaker doing very well. Tiffany Stratton, forget it. She showed her star last night at the Women's Elimination Chamber, and she got eliminated. People booed. So but Kamille, if she was to go to the AEW, I mean, that would be a good pickup. You know what I'm saying? It would be a good pickup because then you got Kamille, you have Mercedes Moné, you got Deonna Purrazzo, you got Tony Storms and whatnot, and then you got the other young ladies there, Chris Stanlanders, you got the the rest of the other roster, and you know what? Then if they was to bring Scott D'Amore in there, so he could take care of that woman's division, it would be great because Scott D'Amore is not coming back to TNA. I mean, there was word that the owner said that he was not gonna cave into the request of the talent about bringing him back in. Instead, he's gonna have a meeting with the talent at the New Orleans taping for TNA. Again, these guys, clowns in the suits who don't know nothing about pro wrestling. And it looks like Anthem only cares about making money with the other sports and entertainment stuff, but don't care about pro wrestling and whatever. And they just have TNA for the hell of it, but they're not willing to do what they got to do. Now, no surrenders this week. Of course, we saw Mustafa Ali. Matter of fact, I'm going to get this to this real quick. Mustafa Ali, who else? The Matt Riddle and Nick Nemeth, all three former WWE champions, out of the company for the last 3 months, and they already got championships in their hand. Nemeth won the global IWGP Global Champion by defeating David Finlay, which I found it very weird. But he only lasted with that belt for only like 40-something days, unless they're gonna push Finlay to go after the world title, because Naito finished with Sonata. And then Matt Riddle won the New Japan TV title from Hiroshi Tanahashi. And then Mustafa Ali beat Chris Sabin for the X division in TNA. Now, I don't want to hear nothing about people like, oh, not everybody could be champion in WWE. No. WWE dropped the ball on these guys, okay, for years, and now they champion somewhere else. What that tells you, they only push the favorites. They showed it last night by giving Becky Lynch the Elimination Chamber. Why? Because she's never won it. That woman don't need to win the Elimination Chamber. She don't need to be world champion. You got a crop of young ladies in WWE that could get those titles. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Now these other performers go somewhere else and they become champion. You know what I'm saying? Like Bronson Reed, that guy is a beast. They're not really doing nothing with him. He wasn't able to even go to the freaking Elimination Chamber in Australia because he had, personal issues. But, it's just sad when you see talent. There's just so much potential, and WWE still stick with the same people, with the Bobby Lashley's, the LA Knights. The guy's not going to go anywhere. I don't care what anybody tells me. You know what I'm saying? The LA Knights, the Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollins, the same people. They're always pushing the same people. Meanwhile, as soon as they let their talents go, they end up going somewhere else and becoming champions. They may not be world champions. I mean, the belt that Nick Nemeth had is the global champion. I don't know if you could call those world champion because it says global. So globe is the world. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. So that is it for me today, guys. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell for new uploads. Also, guys, you can follow me on social media platform on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Most of the time on Facebook and Instagram. Also, you can check out my store. T-shirts, hats, hoodies. You go to tcwr.veryimpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. Also, you can find me on TikTok. I put clips there, and you guys can check it out. So, but most important, the YouTube channel. Please share. Very quick note: I will not be doing no audio podcasts for the near future, for the reason that Spotify decided to delete my account, give it back to me, and then didn't return none of my 346 episodes that I have worked so hard in the last 5 years. I want to thank John Scott from the John's Podcast Network, who hit me up to notify me that my audio podcast link was not working. If it wasn't for him, I probably would have been like wondering what the hell happened. But I had a email saying that my account had gotten deleted. So if this has happened to you before, you could hit me up on Twitter and let me know. But I'm not the only one that done this before. So you got to be careful. Look, Spotify is trying to monopolize the podcast industry, and they are doing so much effed up stuff that's not even, is ridiculous. But anyway, that is it for me today, guys. I thank you once again. Share with your friends and whatnot. Let everybody know about the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I told you all my platforms where you can find me at: social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I will appreciate it. Until then, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next week.